Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and also thanks a lot for the support on the recent videos, no matter the topic. Especially the Battlefield 1 video had some very good feedback, which comes as a bit of a surprise because I'm usually not someone who's good in doing gameplay commentary, but you guys seem to enjoy the concept of this one. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about Deltaforce again, because we got another Q&A with game director Shadow, and this is actually something I've never seen before, at least not in this way. Because at the beginning of the video, Shadow talks about the Steam Next Fest demo that was the first version of the game accessible to everyone without the need of having a key or an invite. And overall the game was received pretty well and was also the #1 most played demo during Next Fest, but a lot of players were still frustrated because this version of the game was not very different from the alpha and pre-alpha in terms of content, but also in terms of quality of life features, bugs and issues. And I've also talked about this during Next Fest and expressed my frustration as someone who basically played the same build of the game 3 times in a row now, but I also brought up an explanation from Deltaforce themselves where they said that the build we got is the only one that is properly localized, so translated into more languages than Chinese. And this was the reason we had to play it again during Next Fest. And even though they talked about this on X already, Shadow still brings it up again in the recent Q&A and even apologizes for this inconvenience. And that's what I meant when I said that this is something that I've never seen before. A written apology or somewhat of a statement on a social media account, yes, but most of the time only when the devs really messed it up and they have to come forward with something. But the game director himself sitting in front of the camera, talking directly to the players, apologizing that the open beta or demo version didn't have any new content, that's something I've never seen before. I mean, we're not talking about a demo that was unplayable, it's just that there wasn't much difference to the alpha, and we expected something else because they had said in a former Q&A that there will be new content during Next Fest, and then suddenly there wasn't. So that's where all the frustration came from. Anyways, the topic of the Q&A is a different one, of course, because it's more about the early access launch and what we can expect. And Shadow says that with the next build of the game, which is the early access launch that we can expect on December 5th, we can finally expect to see more content and more changes for Deltaforce. So we will get a full first season that is called Genesis, and we've already seen this overview right here, and this confirms one new operator, and I've already said that based on the silhouette I would guess it's another female character. For Havoc Warfare, specifically for Havoc Warfare, we will see a total of 5 maps with the early access, so the 2 maps we already know from the alpha and the demo, and 3 new maps that will be added with this first season. And all of these maps will have their own unique style and topic to provide a good mix of gameplay experiences. So the first one will be an urban map, the second a traversal map, and the third a trench warfare map. We've already seen one right here, at least a few screenshots of it, and the biggest part of the map is underground, but I can't tell you which category of those maps this will be. We will also see new maps coming to Hazard Operations, but they didn't say exactly how many yet. There was one map shown though in an earlier Q&A that will be an urban map as well, with a mix of ancient and modern architecture. But they never mentioned if this urban map will also be the same one we will see in Havoc Warfare. What we will also get is one new vehicle that looks like a version of the Little Bird and several new weapons. And for the weapons, someone wrote in the comments of my last video that the current Chinese version of the game, which is very close to the early access build already, features 2 new weapons. These are the MP7 SMG and the PSG-1 sniper rifle. And in addition to those, 2 more weapons were identified by the silhouettes in this overview right here, which is the QBC-191 assault rifle and the XM250 LMG. So 1 new weapon for each of the categories of the game. What we can also expect to see in the early access is a co-op PvE mode that will be reminiscent of the PvE modes in the classic Deltaforce games, which means you can play the game alone or with your friends against AI instead of jumping into multiplayer against other players. Shadow also says that this mode will include some memorable moments from the past, whatever that means. I don't know. What they will not change change for now, however, is the presence of AI in multiplayer matches, at least in Havoc Warfare, so there will still be bots filling up servers in regions with low player counts or during low peak times. But he also admitted that bots fill up lobbies of beginner players, so what we thought the whole time seems to be true. When you start playing the game, in your first few matches you will encounter more AI than usual to give you the time to get used to the game and its mechanics. Which is nice on one hand, so you can get used to the game without getting instantly killed by experienced players, but then again it gives you the feeling of having high kill matches and being better at the game than you actually are because you're mainly playing against AI instead of real players. Nevertheless, they're still discussing this topic internally and will tweak things along the way, but for now it looks like there are not too many changes planned for the start of early access, and we will probably see a similar gameplay experience in the first few matches that we already had in the alpha and also in the demo. What we can expect though are significant changes and improvements to vehicles and their controls and more detailed damage mechanics, so probably a more refined system for vehicle parts and weak zones. And we will of course also see general changes to gameplay mechanics, to the UI, to weapon balance and so on. What's not coming with the early access though is controller support, but that was said multiple times now. Controller support is only coming in early 2025 alongside the full release of the game and with the release of the console and mobile versions. Good news for all players in the OCE regions though, because you guys can expect to see servers for your region with the early access launch of the game. This should heavily reduce latency issues and improve the gameplay experience. And at the end, Shadow also emphasizes that with the start of early access, the Chinese version and the global version of the game will be the same. So the Chinese version won't be ahead anymore like it is right now. And that was it for today. A few more details to what we can expect in early access. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.